Tonight on Late Night Love, we are stepping into the places where real life gets tangled. The misstates, the impossible bosses, the teenagers who keep us driving in circles, and the partner who don't always show up the way we hoped. It's one of those nights where the world feels a little too sharp, a little too loud, and you just not want someone to sit with you in the quiet and say, "You're not crazy, you're just human."
Yeah.
I should have practiced this one more time. So settle in, dim the lights, and wait for another episode of Late Night Love. All right, Lovey. We're going to start off with something a little different because this week I used to be a NASCAR fan, right? I haven't really been into NASCAR sports for my own personal reasons. It's not the point of this show. I need to talk about men for a minute because this week, a NASCAR driver, let me get this, Kyle Busch, is 41 years old, an 11-year-old and a 4-year-old. And he died from pneumonia that developed into sepsis. He was at work in a racing simulator when he finally collapsed. And look, as someone who has walked into a hospital almost dead, I get this, right, as men. But we have to stop. You know, taking 2 weeks off to heal yourself is not a sign of weakness. It's and it's not even the fact that it's a sign of weakness, right? Men, we are too good at accepting life as it is as the new reality. It's just how life is now. And we just move on, right? It's not even a sign of weakness, right? It's not that deep, which makes it even dumber. So, you know, our heart goes out to his family, his children, his wife, and the whole NASCAR and sports family, sports communities. But men, we have to be better. Not for ourselves, for the people who love us, and for those who depend on us. So, anyway.
Thank you.
And I get it, right? I am one of those people who will do too much. So I'm lecturing from a place of love, from a place of trying to be better myself.
You have gotten better.
Yeah, but it shouldn't take till 50 something to do it. So
hey, you know, you got there.
So those of us who have been through this need to be open more about those who are younger and say, take the time to take care of yourself.
Yes.
Yes, he had a lot of people both at work and in his family depending on him. And that pull is difficult to balance, right?
Yeah.
But if you're not there, you can't depend on you.
No.
So let's be better, men. Okay. All right, so we're just going to hop into our next segment. But before we do that, let's find us. You can find us at latenightLove.us. You can send your questions, comments, suggestions to love@latenightLove.us. We love to hear from you. And we are just going to hop into our life segment. We are talking about the kind of life's problems that don't make the highlight reel. Sleeping through a date you meant to honor, navigating non-competes that feel like handcuffs, trying to stay sane when coworkers target you for being good at what you do. We're also touching on grief logistics, mismatched family cultures, and the art of surviving a toxic boss without losing your soul. And yes, how to make a good impression on the receptionist, because sometimes the front desk is the real power center. If the front desk doesn't like you, you're not getting hired. Same thing as the janitor. If you treat the janitor poorly and people see it, you know, unless, of course, the person's hiring you is the same way, then I suppose. All right, so let's just get started tonight.
Okay, this one. Accidentally slept through a dinner date and woke up at 2:30 a.m. after standing him up. How do I make it up to him?
You call him, you apologize, you tell him you were tired, you meant to take a nap, and next thing you know, it's 2:30 in the morning, and you offer to take him on the next day.
Hey, pay for him.
Yeah. You offer to pay.
Offer to pay.
He might split it with you or whatever, but you call him up, you be honest and real with him. I was just exhausted. I went to take a nap, and next thing you know, it's 10 hours later.
Yeah.
And, I obviously wasn't feeling well. Please, can we schedule a next one on me and do something fun? Guys are generally forgiving. We do this kind of things. And so when you can admit that, hey, I was tired, I overslept, we can respect that because we've been there. So, just be human, for the love of God. It doesn't take very much, to be honest. Just be honest and, make it up to him by offering to pay for the date. If you don't have a lot of money, then it's going to be a cheap date. So what?
Yeah.
It's not the point. Generally speaking, men don't mind cheap dates. If he does, he'll pay for it himself. But it's the offer that counts. It's the genuine offer that counts. And for the love of God, don't miss the second one.
No. You're dead.
Well, it's not that you're dead. If he likes you enough, he'll forgive you. But he's going to have a couple. You got 2 strikes on you at that point, right? He'll ignore the first strike. But the second one, he's going to start thinking, okay, is she just unreliable? Maybe she's just running late all the time. Personality quirks and whatnot.
Okay.
And you can live with those if you can accept them. But you can't learn to accept them if you're not there. So don't miss the next one. Okay.
Can my employer actually enforce a 1-year non-compete if another company offered double my salary and better benefits?
Well, it depends on the industry, the contract. Not all non-competes are actually bindable, depending upon your state. Some states have banned non-competes completely.
Oh.
And you're going to have to look at your local laws and the specifics of your non-compete.
Mm-hmm.
So generally speaking, there may be things that you can't work on. You're going to have to put in a contract with your new company that you can't work on the same product line that you're used to work on. You have to do something different. Right. But generally speaking, non-competes are for highly specific industries, right? Most people don't have non-competes, and sometimes they're in there just to be in there because it's a standard contract for whatever. But oftentimes they are not actually enforceable.
I hadn't thought of being standard for an industry.
Yeah. Well, if you have industry secrets, let's say you work for Apple as an engineer.
Ooh, okay, there we go.
But here's the thing. Apple engineers move places all the time. But there's probably some level of non-compete in there. There's things they can, there's things they can't do.
Okay.
Right. Or non-competes in California may not be enforceable. So, who knows? Check your local listings. Check with your local employment
agency.
Or check with your local employment. Spend $100 and ask a employment lawyer. It's a 15-minute conversation. It's going to cost $100.
And you're getting double your salary. So,
Yeah, it's worth the investment. Even if it costs a couple $100, it's worth the investment to find out.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is the psychology behind high performers being targeted by coworkers?
Because you're making them look bad.
You are. They're jealous, dude.
Well, it's not even that they're jealous.
Stop it.
It's they can't work as efficiently as you. They can't do it. It's not possible. So because they can't, for whatever reason, and it's not even necessarily that they might be hitting targets just fine, but because one person happens to work fast, gets more done, it makes them look bad. This is really a thing, and unions have a terrible thing with this, which is why everybody kind of works slow, because you have to work to the slowest person. Otherwise, which is why things like California's high-speed rail take so freaking long, because everybody has to work at the pace of the slowest person. Otherwise, you get panties in a bunch and all that stuff. And the only way to get around this is a culture of, rewarding everybody for what they do. Right? Yes, the guy who does more work is going to get a better reward or get to go home early or whatever, but you don't punish anybody else because they can't keep up in a standard that's not reasonable. Mm-hmm. I used to work on an assembly line, and they wouldn't time me because it wasn't fair. I was faster than everybody else. So when they would time people to figure out, okay, how long should this particular task take? Just a rough estimate, right? They're not getting you. You just kind of want a rough estimate so they can figure out how long orders take to build, and right, so you
Mhm.
can price this stuff out properly.
Mhm.
Well, they wouldn't test me because it's not fair to everybody else because I was faster than everybody else at almost everything.
Mm.
And I would throw off the curve. So I didn't get to be tested. Everybody else did. Because the owner of that company was actually quite smart. He understood how things work, and he wanted to have a culture where I could work as fast as I naturally wanted to, but everybody else didn't feel the pressure to try to overperform.
Okay.
And so by doing that, by not counting me in the timing, everybody who was working there knew that they weren't being unfair. They're not going to be tried to held to my standards.
Okay.
And so I can just go off and do my work and
Right.
whatever, which actually ends up helping them out because I finish my work and I can go help other people out, which is what happens, right?
Mhm.
Someone's getting backed up, I can go and step in and help them because I'm done with my work. And it helps everybody. So, but yeah, you make them look bad, and no one likes to look bad. But, don't care. Just do your thing.
Yeah, our problem was our CEO was a type A.
Yes.
He felt all of us
Should be a type A.
should be a type A.
The type A's who don't realize that they're different than everybody else are a problem.
I told him, we're not like you.
Yeah, we don't want to be that way. It's not our nature. We get it. You can't be different than what you are. That's great. That's fine. Be that way, but you can't expect everybody else to be the same way. Yeah. Okay.
Work needs proof of funeral for bereavement pay, but my family organized it. It didn't have any pamphlets I could take to work. Not sure what to do.
Well, usually there's a death announcement in the newspaper.
Yeah.
You could call your family and say, hey, do you guys have something can I have a receipt from the funeral home so I can show it to my boss so I can get paid for that day?
Yeah.
Even though, quite frankly, I don't understand why bereavement pay. This is why paid time off is just paid time off.
Yeah.
You just take it. But he also may have it to travel. He may have been gone for a week, and so it may be different than, who knows? We don't know the details.
Right.
But somebody has the paperwork you need. You're just going to have to make
Somebody does. You're going to have to make the effort to find it. Yeah.
That's all.
Mhm.
Okay.
Different family backgrounds, but we're already dating. What to do now? They're different religions.
And it's like that's the world these days.
I
Right?
know.
It's what do you do now? You navigate the relationship.
Yeah.
This is just something that you're going to have to be aware of that's going to take more care and effort than other parts of relationships. As long as you understand that going in, and you're fine. Generally speaking, everybody gets to kind of live their religious life. That's how I do it. And then because as long as the underlying moral code is relatively the same, doesn't matter.
Right.
You get to go to
seriously.
You get to go to your church and you get to do your thing. You get to go to your temple and do their thing. And you come home and you have something to talk about that the other person didn't experience. Okay.
Yeah.
Just don't make it, don't try to convert the other person, and everything is generally fine. Now, when it comes to raising children, that's a different ball of wax, right? So you might want to figure out what the children want, give them open experiences to both.
I have a daughter who had we have a multicultural family.
Yeah.
And
No one cares.
and I have a daughter who married someone who is Muslim and she's a Christian, and they navigated it quite well.
Yeah.
Basically it turns out they weren't that religious, but they did the major holidays of both religions.
Yeah, they're like the Catholics who show up on Easter and Christmas, right? Which is fine, right? Everybody's relationship with their God cannot be judged by somebody else's.
Yeah.
So, or not, right? You also have the other daughter who's, she's the Wiccan, and her husband person is nothing.
Yeah.
So,
But he supports her.
Yeah.
He brings her fresh flowers for her altar on Beltane and
sure, why
stuff
not?
like that.
Yeah, the same thing. I'm not religious at all. I just don't find it. I don't find the question interesting.
Yeah, you were brought to tears when I was baptized.
Sure, because it wasn't about me. Imagine that. It was about your experience, not mine. So, yeah, I would understand. What's the problem there? So, anyway, so what do? You navigate your relationship like anything else.
Yeah.
It just is. Just knowing that that's going to take more time and care and compassion. Okay. What do we got next?
Toxic boss who's hard to deal with because the even bigger boss loves him. What are my options besides quitting? Put your head down and just ignore him.
Well, it depends on what do you mean how to deal with, right? Sometimes you have to learn how to manage a difficult boss. That's just part of getting experienced. I don't know how old this person is. If they're in their 20s, you just don't have experience at managing your boss.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, sometimes you have to manage your boss. It just is.
You do.
And sometimes, just because your boss, the bigger boss, loves him doesn't mean he won't listen to an issue that's cropping up. Right? Business is business. Personal is personal.
Yeah.
He might have lots of good traits, but he has issues relating with his staff. He might need to know that because maybe he just was never trained to deal with people and just go to a couple day seminar. He comes back and he's starting to learn how to communicate. Right? Who knows? There's lots of ways you can deal with this, but you actually have to deal with it. And I have a suspicion they're not actually dealing with it. They're just experiencing it. Which is what most people do. I'm not, right? It's not a...
I managed a toxic boss for a year. It is, it's draining. Did you hit the button?
Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, well, that ship has sailed.
Ship has sailed, okay. And I cried a lot.
Yeah.
And I just waited for an opportunity to switch to a different boss in the same organization. An opportunity presented itself and I jumped at it.
Well, see, and this is, again, go back to the very beginning of the show. This is one of those things where men are very good at just accepting the new reality and moving on and dealing with it. Screw that guy. He's a dillweed, but I've got work to do. And you just do your work and you don't really pay attention. Right?
Yeah.
Let the chips fall where they may. Guys are better at that than women are. We just are.
You mean you didn't go home crying for every day for a year?
No. We wouldn't do that for a year. We wouldn't. We're more decisive than that. We'll put up with something for a little while, but if it's that bad, no, we're moving. We're leaving. We're going to take this job and shove it, right? And that's where it came from. Damn the consequences, right? We're just not going to care. We'll figure it out. I don't know a man who hasn't done it. I'm tired of this. Just walk out, essentially. Maybe you finish the day, maybe not, but you deal with it. Okay.
Last one. How can I make a good impression on the receptionists?
Don't try, just be polite.
Now he's 45. He's not going in for a job. He works there.
Uh-huh.
But he understands they've got pull. He wants, and he likes them. They're nice.
Well, then you don't have to do anything. Just interact with them like they're a nice person to interact with. That's all you have to do. This isn't...
He just wants to be part of the work culture.
Well, just be nice. There's no secret sauce here. If you like them, then you interact with them nicely.
Yeah.
Just like you would interact with anybody who you like, for the love of God. This isn't complicated stuff. Don't overcomplicate life, right? It's complicated enough. Don't overcomplicate it where you don't need to. Just be nice. If they like Starbucks, bring them a Starbucks once every 6 weeks or something, so it's not weird. Whatever it is.
Yeah. Payday.
Yeah. Well, not even payday, because every 2 weeks, that's too weird. It's kind of random.
Oh, I was thinking once a month, but
Yeah, once a month, once every 6 weeks. So it's so it's seemingly random. So it's yeah. And I was at Starbucks, and then you bought them one, and you got your own, right? It's So it's not that you went and made an extra effort. You were just there and you were thinking about them. Here, have a good day. Yeah. So that's my suggestion for that. All right. Life doesn't hand out gold stars for effort, but it does reward honesty, boundaries, and the courage to keep showing up. You're doing more right than you think. For me and Lovey, have a good night. And please remember to love everybody.